Hello everybody, my name is Graham Elwood and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Look at that. Look at those vegan guns working through the... Boy, Liz Warren, she fights for us and she represents the people and everything. Oh boy, this is bad. Women of color bolt Warren's Nevada campaign in frustration. Huh? Complaints, comments, advice, and grievances were met with an earnest shake of the head and progressive buzzwords, but not much else. Doesn't that sum up her whole campaign? Firm talk. That's who she is. That's who Liz Warren is. That's what she does. It's like when she gave that talking to 3 years ago to that Wells Fargo executive, right? She gave him a stern talking to in front of the Senate, and the guy walked out of there with a $134 million severance plan. That's everything you need to know about Liz Warren. I'm going to talk tough. I'm not taking corporate money in the primary, but I'll take it in the general. Like Medicare for all, but kinda, but maybe, but flip-flop. That's who she is. This isn't so shocking to me at all. A half dozen women of color have departed Elizabeth Warren's Nevada campaign in the run-up to the state's caucuses. Complaints of toxic work environment in which minorities felt tokenized. And senior leadership was at loggerheads. Weird. The woman that lied about being Native American would treat people of color this way. The woman who just felt like I could appropriate another culture to help me get into college and get a scholarship and help me get ahead would just like, oh, tokenized. Bring in some people of color so we look diverse. Oh, you're the powerful. You're a rich white lady. It's like saying, well, I have a black friend. Here's my black friend. Like, oh God. They felt marginalized by the campaign, a situation they said didn't change or worsened after they took their concerns to their superiors or to the human resources staff. Doesn't that sound like the complaints that are always made of a male-dominated white guys? They cover it, they just... Which is true. Patriarchy has done that. White males have done that when they've been in power. And clearly there is a patriarchy. I'm not saying there isn't one. But my point here is people in power abuse it unless they actually are trying to do something good. Elizabeth Warren is just an opportunist. She's not, that's why she was a Republican until she was 47 years old and then changed whatever party fits her. Whatever fits. You know? Well, whatever I got to say. Oh, Trump needs an extra $80 billion for his war budget? Yeah, me and 4 other Democrats are going to sign on in October of 17. They just gave it to him. That's because that's good for business. I gotta support the war. Mr. Trump, never again. That's who they are. During the time I was employed with Nevada for Warren, there was definitely something wrong with the culture, said Megan Lewis, a field organizer. Wrong with the culture. That comes from the top down. I got to be honest with you. I know more women and people of color that work for Bernie's campaign than I do white people. When Ron Placone and I did a show in Iowa City in September last year, we saw Bernie's speech, and then the bunch of Bernie people came out. It was like in Iowa, it was like just this wide swath of it was women of color, it was men of color, it was like everybody. There was more people of color just who came to the show than there were like white guys. Like, and they loved it and had a great, and they were working for something. There's no way those people would work for Bernie if there was this culture. The Bernie Sanders campaign, there's a culture. I know people within the campaign, and if there was anything even remotely like this, this would have been called out by Bernie 4 years ago if he was pulling this crap. But he's not. Everybody says the thing about Bernie, he's a really nice guy. We want him to take the gloves off and fight harder and go be tough. He's a really nice guy. He believes in what's right. That's why he was arrested in the 70s for civil rights stuff. I felt like a problem, like I was there to literally bring color into the space, but not the knowledge and voice that comes with it. Field organizer granted anonymity because she feared reprisal. Do you think it's a mistake that all these women of color have endorsed Bernie? AOC, Nina Turner, I mean, Omar. Do you think it's a mistake? You think that's like, because they know the real deal. Killer Mike. You think Killer Mike, who's like, has a whole Netflix series calling out white people and white privilege, you think Killer Mike would tolerate like an ounce of this crap from Bernie Sanders? If he even just felt it even for a second, do you think he would put up with this? Liz Warren, because she's a woman, gets away with it. So I applaud these women but this one woman's afraid that there's going to be reprisals. That sounds like what the white male patriarchy does when it's threatened. That's the ruling class, folks. This is the diversity of the ruling class. I keep talking about this. Liz Warren, Mayor Pete, oh, he's a gay guy, rainbow flag. It's the diversity of the ruling class. Gina Haspel, first woman head of the CIA, is a sociopath that flew around the world watching people get tortured. This is what I call about the Democratic Party. It's just Goldman Sachs and a drone wrapped in a rainbow flag, and we're all supposed to go, yay, diversity. Liz Warren pontificates on stage, a woman can be president. She lies about Bernie saying that sexist thing. It was a blatant lie, a deliberate tactic. If Bernie's really, we're all supposed to believe that Bernie said women could be president and you didn't say anything about it for a year. You shook his hand publicly for a year, and then the night before the debate, before the Iowa caucus, that's when this happens to come up. Give me a break. You're so transparent, and people within her campaign can't take it anymore. They're being mistreated. This woman is afraid of reprisals? That sounds like what? Like what happened with Harvey? People were afraid to speak up about Harvey Weinstein. Complaints, comments, advice, and grievances were met with an earnest shake of the head and progressive buzzwords, but not much else. The first debate I saw a year ago, I was like, or when it was last June, I was like, wow, Liz Warren suddenly has Bernie's campaign, Medicare for all and student debt forgiveness. But they're just buzzwords to her. They're just going to help her in the polls. Bernie has been saying the same things for over 3 decades as a politician because he knows it's what's right. You see speeches in 1987, 88, women can be president. You see him talking about in the late 80s and early 90s why we need Medicare for all and healthcare is a human right and stop spending all this money on wars and we got to tax the billionaire class. He was saying this 30 years ago when she was a Republican. So this is just buzzwords. And this is the statement from the Warren camp. More buzzwords. We strive for an inclusive environment, buzzword, and work hard to learn and improve, buzzword. Warren campaign spokesman Kristen Hoffman said in a statement. There were too few Spanish-speaking organizers, the former staffer said, despite asking the campaign to hire more. Are we shocked that the woman who said she was American Indian back in 1986 would do this? Who wrote in a book, a really offensive book called Pow Wow Chow? Several Native Americans that watch this show have been offended by that. Cat B, shout out. Mexican oatmeal soup. Elizabeth Warren, Cherokee. This was in that. This is such arrogance. This is white feminism. I can just appropriate your culture. Deal with it. Because at her core, she said, I'm a capitalist to my core. She's going to stop Trump at every turn. Well, guess what she's going to do if she's president?
We renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
Standing while all these morons are chanting, war, 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 Fuck the poor. Screw the poor. Who cares about the poor? Profit over people. Profit over people. Private prisons. Private prisons. War for profit. That's what all these morons are chanting. She stands with them and claps. I think that's Mitch McConnell standing. Oh, he's the worst. Well, we'll stand and clap for capitalism though, right? Why isn't there this culture in the Bernie campaign? Oh, here's him being hauled away. He was willing to go to jail. A privileged white guy who was like, this isn't right. And Bernie doesn't like posting this out there. He tells his people in the campaign, don't put this out there. He doesn't want to play this card. That's the integrity of Bernie Sanders. In 2015, he went to Liz Warren. You run against Hillary. You could be president. I would have voted for Liz Warren back in 2016. I'm glad now that we know who she really is. Bernie doesn't like putting this out there. He doesn't want to play this card. I will play it though, because this is who he is. So do you want this or do you want that? This guy or Pow Wow Chow? Which one? I'm glad these people spoke up, and I'm glad they're coming forward, and I hope more people come forward. If you're working in the Warren campaign and you're seeing this, speak up. Speak up. It ain't right. This is not right. She will not win against Trump. And now we see the deep state has basically been pushing Mayor Pete. That's his app. I did a whole video on that. Please watch that video about how the Pete Buttigieg campaign gave money to Shadow, the company that created the app. The woman that runs that company is a huge Mayor Pete supporter. They've been hatching this plan for Iowa. So the Democratic Party, if Trump gets reelected, it'll be because the Democratic Party cheated the guy that actually resonates with the people. No corporate money. Liz Warren, $6 billionaires have donated to her campaign. Mayor Pete, 39 billionaires. Biden, 44 billion. 44 billionaires. Bernie has outfunded all of them with individual donors because he resonates with the people. Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, free college, you want to go to private school, rich kid, you can do that. Student debt forgiveness, ending the wars, taxing the billionaires. These are populist working class platforms that resonate with people. This is a rich kid trying to get ahead by appropriating another culture, another racist culture. I always say this. There's a Native American woman out there in her 70s that could have gone to Harvard, but didn't because Liz Warren took her spot. There's a woman that grew up on a reservation that could have gone to Harvard. And reservation life, some of the reservations, it's tough life from what I've heard. It's tough. Tough. Liz Warren took that opportunity away from someone, and now she wants to be president. Now, nope. Sorry. Don't fall for it. You get your news here. You don't get it from the corporate media because they're not going to talk about this. Rachel Maddow's not going to talk about this for 3 years. Anderson Cooper, who's at Vanderbilt, is not going to talk about this for 3 years. Joyanne Reed, is she going to talk about this story? Is Joyanne Reed, she's a woman of color. She should be all over this story, correct? Is Donna Brazile, who's now with Fox News because she got fired from CNN for cheating in 2016, is she going to talk about this story? No, they're not. You only get that news here. You're making Gotham great again. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button. Even if you've done it before, YouTube is undoing that and they're unsubscribing people. Make sure you're subscribed. Share the videos out on your social media. Support what we're doing at patreon.com/Graham Elwood, rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, and come see Ron Placone and I on the road for the Progressive Comedy Tour. February, we're in Tucson and San Francisco. March, we are in Florida, Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. April, we are in Seattle and Portland, Oregon. And May, we are in Indianapolis, Detroit, and Cleveland. All my tour dates are at grahamelwood.com. We're probably coming to a city near you. Join us. You show up alone, you leave a part of a community.